Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to talk about the girls in Atlanta. Oh, we just gonna talk because I'm not gonna get my nerves worked up over freaking fraud, girl, over the Bopsy twins. I have a lot to say about that situation. Girl, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff and Kelly. Kelly goes over to her home, to Shamina's home. And long story short, they're co-hosting a girls' trip to Grenada. And one of the good things about this trip, we're going to start off with some positivity because we better start shifting wigs in just a few. So let's start off with something positive before we get to the negative. Yeah. So the good thing about this trip is it sounds as if the philanthropic spirit has touched the girls. They say a hurricane hit, and so when they get there, they're going to be assisting with that. So that's a good thing. You know, not only will they be over there having a good time, but they're also taking time out of their schedule to go help those in need, which is never a bad thing. Um, Kelly, I put Kelly. This is Kelly's fourth or fifth time hosting this season. Kelly has already done, I think, 5 events, right? 4 or 5. So Kelly is stepping up to the plate and doing what needs to be done. So shout out to Kelly for that. I told you we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it positive because when we get to yanking, we're gonna get to yanking. Just the F to the Y to the I. Okay. Um, she's talking about her divorce, and she says that it takes so much money to depart from someone. Girl, you know, legally tied yourself to this person, and now it's mad day. And especially when there's a little bit of money involved, the boys and girls, right? And non-binary, non-gender conforming, girl, we go crazy. It's one thing if everybody broke, then girl, ain't nothing to fight over. But if it's a little something to fight over, you know, and it's really gonna be a mess. On probably on top of the mess that's already there. She says that her lawyer, she was having a conversation. I don't know if that was her grandma. Was that her Gonna tell you, she was talking to some people. They did a flashback clip, and she was telling them how her lawyer had just sent her a bill, baby, for 158,000. Shout out to all the lawyers, girl. She said the people sent her a bill for $158,000. I wonder why some of y'all be living good. When they played that flashback clip, and it appeared as though that lady had clutched her pearls, almost choked and went to glory, when she told them that she had one bill, that's one bill, for $158,000.
I have to pay $158,000. At this point, I think my ex wants my soul.
I mean, girl, I guess that's the price you gotta pay. It is what it is. The bill gotta be paid. Um, Peach juice, girl. Portia, her sister, and her mama. They're out house looking. This is, I think, the first home that Portia's looking at. She's just trying to have a backup plan because you know at this point Portia can't film in that house. Girl, Portia been filming at her old house. Girl, she been filming, you know, girl down to the soul food restaurant. She been filming everywhere except that house because you know at the time, um, I don't know. Has she mentioned it this season? Simon was trying to stop her from filming in the home. I think at one point she gained permission to though, but he was really making it difficult for Portia to film in the home for the show. So she's out looking at homes, and the home that she's looking at, um, is $4.2 million. It's 8 bedrooms and 7 baths. She needs a spot for her and her daughter just in case. Basically, I mean, at this point, I feel like if you're not, Portia's really not giving a lot of information about her marriage. She doesn't want to talk about it, of course. I know some people keep saying, I'm going to keep repeating it. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, they probably had an order by the judge. Please, if they did, it just kicked in, because at that point, girl, well, I ain't gonna say at that point when they filmed that scene, but at one point, Portia and Simon were down to the World Wide Web dragging each other every day. Girl, she was talking about how he had erectile dysfunction, and he was calling her a dummy. Y'all don't remember? But now all of a sudden it's time for the show. Even Kenya said she had to turn her notifications off because Simon, every time she looked up, girl, Simon was posting something. But again, we don't really know. Portia's really not giving us the background. You have to kind of either keep up with the mess through the blogs, through TMZ or whatever. But she can't film in the house. I think she tapped on it a little bit when she said he's trying to stop my money or something like that at the beginning of the season. Anyways, it doesn't matter. At one point, her mama said, "I'm, I'm selling my house and I'm moving in your house." Girl, quiet as this kept. Girl, Portia and Pilar, they're gonna be back in their house. Because I'm trying to understand how Portia even looking at a $4.2 million house when she just got her job back. Now I know Portia got her little gold naked hair and all that stuff, but let's just call a thing a thing. Those businesses started to kind of fall by the wayside. She wasn't worried about those businesses. She pretty much said it about, what is it? Pampers by Portia, Pampered by Portia. Because Portia quit her job. Let's go ahead and get into Portia, girl, because we're about to tug on her wig. I don't like when people don't tell the truth. Girl. Portia says the first divorce was hard because it was old school, didn't have a plan for the future. I'm paraphrasing some of the stuff she said. Remember, she was the wife, the Stepford wife, who, couldn't go to the strip club, dressed a certain way, had to cook, clean, she signed up to literally be a mattress, a maid, and a mule. Cardell, and the thing she did it for somebody who, girl, and then the second marriage, girl, I'll be trying to watch what I be saying on here sometimes. Um, then the second marriage, she says, this marriage is different. I handled business and I aligned everything so I wouldn't be in the same position. Girl, you a lie. 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 Portia quit her jobs. Portia still had that same mentality where I'm gonna let a nigga take care of me. To the point where she quit her two highest paying jobs, which was the Housewives and Dish Nation. And in lieu of her quitting her job, Simon gave her an allowance. Simon wanted her to be a stay-at-home wife. That was online. I'm not just making that up. Girl, that's just not my opinion. That's like the facts. Girl. So you still had that same mentality of being kept, being a housewife. And then when it got bad, you came back to Housewives. You said that, oh, they say Portia Williams is coming back, but it's really Portia Gubadia. And then 2 weeks later, after you signed that contract, girl, I'm telling you, it was like it was real fast. Portia filed for divorce from Simon. So no, you didn't actually handle your business the way you should have handled your business. Because if you had learned anything from the first time, you would have made sure that, girl, financially, I'm not gonna depend on no nigga. Because that same nigga won't even let you film in the house that you and your daughter lay your head. If you learned anything from the first situation, girl, you would have took care of your business like the way you should have been taking care of your business. Girl, you quit all your jobs. You put all your eggs in one basket named Simon. Girl, you quickly married a scammer. And now you running around here, girl, looking for a house when you got a house you can go to. But again, here we go. Portia trying to move into this big ass house just for her and her daughter because she really trying to compete with Shamia. And we're just gonna call it for what it is. So Portia, why do you need a 8 bedroom, 7 bath home? Why? Why? For just you and your daughter. Kelly's dog, they were at the spa or something. Kelly's dog, girl, Kelly dog look hungry. Girl, that dog looks hungry and stressed. Girl, I don't know if it's because the hair be everywhere, but that dog be looking real hungry and stressed. Shamia is a guest down to VO 103. I think that's where she works, right? She works at VO 103. I think at that point, instead of her working, she was promoting her music. For whatever reason, she decided to throw shade at Drew. She said something like, I think, what's his name? Tiger Tigger? Um, Big Tigger? Is that his name? Remember, he used to have the show back in the day, Rap City. Was that the name of the show he had on BT? There's another cast member who dropped a song. And then she was like, what has been played on this station. I mean, girl, I guess it's. I guess Shamia. Like at the end of the day, Drew has a solid, good first debut album. Well, of course, if it's debut, it's gonna be her first. Girl, she has a solid debut album, right? Like it is a good album, a good album. I'm gonna leave Shamel alone for right now because we're gonna get into her in a little bit too. Um, she says basically that I guess does Drew have a song about her speaking? Maybe does she have a song about her speaking 5 different languages? Um, because she says that she thinks about her life and everything about her is authentic. And then I put in my notes, well, your next song should be a remix of What About Your Friends? TLC. That would be authentic. That would be about your real life. What about your friends? Will they stand their ground? Will they let you down? Hey, okay. What about your friends? Are they gonna be low now? Are they gonna be around? I wanna go back some now. Okay. No friend, my friends, your friends. Ain't that one of Beyonce and Jay Z songs? Friends. Um, what's Drake's song? No new friends. No, 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 no new friends. No new, no new. Anyways, Charles and Angela. Charles and Angela go to their investment property. I put the house looks a mess. The guy didn't do what he said he was going to do, and I put, girl, you need to stop going through your favorite cousin's boyfriend, Pookie, and them, because that's what they look like to me. I'm just gonna say, I feel like Angela is in the hole $7 million. She said she has 7 investment properties. It appears to me Angela is trying to go the cheap route, right? And I know in some cases it's okay to go that route. Please don't get it twisted. It's one thing for you to go the cheap route and buy cheap, you know, I guess counters and whatever. I don't know. But now, not only are you probably buying cheap, what is it called when you do a house? You know, the stuff that goes into the home. But then you're buying cheap labor. It's kind of like you get what you get. That other home, I think the $1 million home, or the one she was trying to sell for 3 million, and I think she was trying to get that going in a week or so. I may be off on the timeline, but now here we are at another home. This home looks a mess. Like, girl, what are we? Girl, y'all be trying to cut corners sometimes, and cutting corners ain't working. It sounds like you got. It sounds like you getting got. Go to somebody who is a professional and has great recommendations and Google reviews. Girl, not your sorority sister's brother who just got out of prison and he's trying to do right. I'm sorry, I can't take that chance on this house. I'm gonna have to go through a professional. Sorry. Um, Charles is just not a lovey-dovey type of man. He's not. He's not, or maybe he's like that in private. I don't know. I forgot who it was. I think it was OMF, or I saw it was a clip. It was one of the blogs that posted clips, and I saw a lot of people in the comment section saying how like they love Angela and Charles' relationship, and I was really surprised because I'm like, maybe it's because Charles doesn't want to be on the show. Because remember, Angela said that he didn't want to be on the show, but he's doing it for her. So I'm like, maybe it's because he doesn't want to be on the show. And Charles is cool. But when it comes to his interactions with his wife, it almost gives like this bitch is getting on my nerves. That's how Charles always appears to me whenever he's dealing with Angela or they're shooting scenes on this show. It's always, I want this bitch to get out of my face. That's all I get from Charles in his interaction with his wife. So when I see so many people say they love their interactions on camera, girl, is that what y'all going through? A man who you have to tell him to give you a hug when you're crying? A man who you have to tell him to give you a kiss? And then even when he hugs you, it's like he don't even want you to touch him. Charles is handsome. I like Charles. I think Charles is going, if Angela and Charles remain on the show, I think he's going to be the next Peter. I think he's probably going to give us, girl, some scenes on scenes on scenes on scenes. But I'm just speaking from when I look at them, girl, up through my TV screen, it just looks like, girl, why is she with this man? And that's why I asked y'all, girl, was Angela already a millionaire before she got with Charles? Because it's almost giving like I became a millionaire after I got with him, and like I'm sticking around for because I got access to a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. And then Angela kind of threw me off. She basically starts to tell Charles about her mother, and she says that she feels some way about her mother moving out of the house that she purchased for them. You know what? And I didn't even think about this. I was watching. Shout out to Erica De Niro TV. I was watching her review the other day from last week, and I can't remember exactly what she said, but she basically said in a nutshell, like, girl, they probably moved out of that house because in a way you was probably acting like it was your house. Remember how the whole thing happened with the car with Angela's mama and Angela's daughter, and the daughter automatically felt like she should have access to the mama's car that Angela bought for her mama. Absolutely not. Girl, if you bought this car for me, girl, it's my car. And if I tell her no, she ain't using it, then she ain't using it. That's it. So I could see it being a possibility, a big possibility, that Angela's mother, who unfortunately has passed away since it's aired, moved out of that house because, girl, I'd rather just go have my own shit. If you think you're gonna be up her boss, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather go get my own shit, move out of this house, because if you think you're gonna be over here telling me what I can and cannot do and my shit, absolutely not. Um, but anyway, she starts to cry and she apologizes to Charles. I'm like, why is she apologizing to Charles? I had to rewind it. The only thing I could think of, I couldn't grasp why she was crying. I don't know if she was trying to say, because when they played the clip of her having a conversation with her mother said that, yeah, I wasn't scared and I got in his face. So I don't know if she was crying because when Charles told her the story about the mother getting in his face, she didn't care or she didn't hear or she called him a lie and that's what she's apologizing for. I don't know, but she apologized to Charles. But I don't know, girl. I know y'all go for Angela. Angela is cool. I like Angela. I definitely will give her, MVP of the season. I will. I'm not gonna take her flowers away from her. But girl, when Angela be telling stories, girl, it be too many holes for me. It do. Like I don't be knowing what like, girl, when she started to talk about her family and her daughter in certain scenarios, like even with Charles. Remember I told y'all the girl I said this heifer is lying. That nigga ain't I said, girl, that nigga cheated on her. Girl. Okay. You trying to act like y'all separated right after y'all got married because he got banned from the Madison Square Garden. Girl, please. That nigga cheated. I just feel like it's always she never tells the full story, and I'm stuck trying to put the puzzles together, the puzzle piece together, and I don't like that. Anyways, um, oh girl, here we go. Here we go. Bang bang Cleo Edie. Mm, 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 mm. I don't have an issue with this lady. I don't believe it or not. I don't. I don't think she should be a housewife. And I have been and I have been concrete in my stance on that, and I'm not changing. I don't have an issue with her, but I don't think that she's a good fit for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think she would do a better job being a cast member like on Basketball Wives or Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I really do. I think that if Bang Bang was on Love and Hip Hop or Basketball Wives, I think that she would probably eat. I do. Over here, it's just not landing for me. I really do believe that Brit is cosplaying to what she thinks a housewife is. I do. And this episode for me sealed it. I said, oh, and this is part of the reason why. Girl, we about to talk. We about to talk. Because this is the part I've been trying to get to. And girl, Miss Faith, in 2025, if you join the Real Housewives of whatever city, there's probably in my head 9 times out of 10 you've watched the show. So at this point, you're probably a fan of the show or you've watched a couple of seasons here and there, but you've watched enough to know what goes on. I think where the problem comes into play is when you put these fanatics on the show who can't separate from their fandom once they get a peach. I think someone who did an awesome job was Jennifer Tilly over on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I never knew Jennifer Tilly until, I mean, I knew who she was, but I never knew she was a housewife fanatic until she said it at the reunion. It never gave housewife fanatic. To me, it didn't. I would have never known that she was his housewife stan until she said it. But she did a great job of stepping out of the role of a fan and then, okay, girl, I'm on the show, so I have to let that part go. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like with Brit, I think that Brit was a fan of the show. It's kind of like Sweet Tea from Married to Medicine. And I think that Brit is cosplaying to what she thinks a housewife is. Girl, you really just kind of threw this event together and it makes no sense. Girl, I don't know if this is the PGA championships, girl, Harlem Nights, girl, a polo tournament, girl, a post-op surgical recovery, girl, center for body wear. Girl, it was so much going on. It was so much going on. When I tell you Britt had those people down there and didn't even have any food. The only people that were to be served entrees basically were the cast members. Everybody else is eating finger sandwiches. Can you imagine walking around there drinking 2 and 3 and 4 glasses of champagne and ain't got nothing to soak up that motherfucking alcohol? Girl. And then I don't know even know if y'all caught this. I'm not mad at any of the girls for trying to get something off of the ground when you get on these shows. You better use the shows for what they're meant to be used for, which is a platform, right? You have all of these eyeballs on you. So I'm assuming that maybe she just kind of like came up with this concept of, body wear. But did y'all notice she kept getting the name mixed up? One minute she would call it bare naked, and then another minute she would call it bare and naked. On the invitation, it had bare and naked. Sometimes she says bare and naked, and then sometimes she says bare naked. Girl, you don't even know the name of your own product. So did you just throw this together the other week? So now you're having this PGA championship meets polo meets Harlem Nights meets Lady Sings the Blues meets girl post-op wear after you have surgery. And then girl, you're giving the girl champagne with finger sandwiches, girl, and they're supposed to stand up, not sit down. The only people that are served entrees are the cast members. Girl, what in the Shamia, look a mess. I know some of y'all do this. This is just not for me. I do not like when I see the girls in logos all over, different logos. As soon as I saw Shamia pull up with that Balenciaga blazer on and those Chanel earrings, I said, "Oh, girl." When people do stuff like that to me, and I'm not this fashionista, but when people do stuff like that to me, it screams new money. It screams I don't really have no money. It screams, girl, I want everybody to know, girl, I got some pieces in my closet. It's one thing for you to have on labels, right? It's one thing for you to have on, a YSL pump, um, a Chanel outfit, um, what? Um, I don't know, stuff that you can't see the label. But when you have on clothes where like it's just different logos everywhere, girl, that drives me insane. Well, that drives me insane. As soon as Shamil walked up and I saw that big Balenciaga jacket, blazer, and then I looked at her face and I saw those earrings dangling and I saw Chanel, I said, oh. Um, and then I guess this is Britt's neighborhood, but Kelly said it seems as though no one knows her. Did y'all catch that tea? Does because that's not Britt's neighborhood, girl. She just over there for the girl. I feel like Britt, girl, that's a rental, girl. I mean, I don't even think that's a rental. I think that's an Airbnb. If we're gonna be honest, not a rental. That's an Airbnb. That's what I meant to say, girl. Because that's not. I don't know if that's Britt's neighborhood. I guess that's the what is it called? What is it called? Community center. What is it called? The people. What y'all have in y'all neighborhoods when it's like the rec center. What is that? What it's called? Something like that. Um, girl. Um, I put, baby, this is ghetto. The guests are supposed to be standing up having finger sandwiches while they ate. So we're supposed to stand up. We're supposed to come to your event dressed up in heels and, you know, girl, slacks, and we're supposed to watch you and the cast members eat. And then they sit down and they're having a conversation, and I don't know, I just don't want that lady on my. I do not want her back on Housewives. I don't. I just don't. I don't. I really don't. Girl, like, and it pisses me off because, and y'all already know, Real Housewives of Atlanta is like my show. Out of all the housewives, girl, Real Housewives of Atlanta has always been my fave. So it really, really bothers me when I see how like they are doing the show. Like, girl, y'all really got rid of Kenya Moore. Y'all really fired Kenya and kept Britt. This is who y'all kept. A woman who's hosting an event and she has the girls outside playing golf. Girl, in my good clothes, in 5-inch heels, getting musty. Girl, you got me out here in this hot ass sun, girl. Girl, cat about to start. I'm over here, girl, fanning. Girl, cat starting to sweat. Hey, bitch, okay. Girl, getting wet stains in my clothes. Because you want to be out here having us golf. Girl. It's almost like, girl, I don't want her on my show. But not my show. Not my show. I don't want her on the show. That's not my show. Girl, you see? Girl, I don't want her on the show. Get her off. Um, then she tells a story about how she came up with the concept of bare naked, and then she talks about how her and her team went to Miami. Now I don't know, I don't know if she was trying to say she paid for the work, but she said everyone in her team got whatever work they wanted to get done. You want me to believe that there's a possibility that Britt Eady took however many people were on her team, whether it was two, three, four, five, six, I don't know, however many, and paid for people to get cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery, and they could get anything they want. But then when it's time for you to throw a party, girl, you only got 6 pork chops to serve. Six, girl, you only got 6 pieces of salmon. Bitch, you only got two, girl, two chickens, girl, two chicken breasts, and girl, 6 slices of catfish. That's all you could come up with, and some finger foods. But you want me to believe that you done took your team to Miami and possibly paid for everybody to get whatever plastic surgery they want to get. So you done went over there and spent tens and tens and tens and tens, girl, probably even, girl, depending on how many people are on her team, depending on the work they got done. So you mean to tell me you done spent, girl, in the 6 figures of people getting work done? Because I know it wasn't cheap. But even if it was just even if it was just $30,000, $40,000, girl, that's, girl, get that lady off my screen. um, and then Angela was about to get the party started. But when Miss Thing said, so Charles does not have a side baby in front of everybody. So now this is my type of carrying on. This is the type of shit I be talking about. I want to give Angela her flowers though on this one. Y'all want to talk all that shit, girl? Because I'm someone, I don't believe in that a man can't say nothing to a woman, and a woman can't say nothing to a man. Girl, we all grown. Okay. Whatever y'all was saying, now the nigga is here. Say it while he here. Girl, I wasn't mad at Angela for saying what she said, bringing it up in front of the table. Because all y'all done had something to say. You over there talking about you gonna fuck my husband. You talking about what about the side, baby? Even you down at the end, Miss Kelly. Do the world know about that side, baby? So now he here. What y'all got to say? Not everybody want to clutch their pearls. Don't clutch them. Let them go. Breathe. Breathe. Woosah, bitch. Because whatever you was trying to say the other day, say it now. Since he here. Say it. They said you had a baby. That's what they said. And here he go. And then Britt says, you know, and I'm not one of Charles' whores. And he said, I don't mess with whores. But did y'all see when he threw his hand up at Britt? He did like this. So, oh shit. I said, oh shit. Man, we got by next season, Charles gonna get into it with a housewife. Watch. Next season, Charles gonna get into it with a housewife. I bet you. Girl. If he don't curse somebody out at the reunion, if Charles comes to the reunion and that shit come up, girl, Charles has been a cuss out and cuss out one of them women. Because like I said, girl, one thing Charles give me equal. Girl, he gives me like, girl, everybody can get it. I don't care if you black, white, girl, Hispanic, man, woman, gay, straight, trans. I don't care. Everybody can get cursed out. And if he does move that way, I have more respect for people like that. I do, believe it or not. Girl, a girl or a boy who said in their shit and don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if you black, white, gay, straight. Girl, your ass getting cursed out. Ooh, and then for some reason it felt like, you know, and I'm not a big Drew fan at all. I don't know, you know, anytime Drew comes on my screen, I just kind of like grab my phone. But it did feel like to me, for those who watched the show, did it appear to you that like Drew, it almost felt like they were ganging up on Drew in a way. It did feel like that way to me. Um, because Drew tells, I think she told, did she tell, she told somebody that they needed to have a conversation. I'm telling y'all, when Drew come on, I don't pay attention. I pay attention, but I don't, but I pay attention. Drew said she needs to have a conversation with somebody. I don't know who, I forgot who she said. I think it was it, I think it was Britt. I can't remember. Anyways, Kelly jumps in and says, well, just make sure you tell the truth when you have the conversation. And then Drew was like, girl, get to know me. I always tell the truth. Drew did it twice this season. I know she did it with the Michael Jordan situation. Drew will lie, and then when she gets caught or somebody calls her out on the lie, she'll backpedal and say that it was a joke. Oh, girl, you know I was just joking. Girl, if they would have never brought it up, like if Angela would have never gotten in contact with Marcus Jordan to ask, girl, you related to Drew Jordan, Drew Sidora, Drew would have kept. Drew would have never came back and told us, oh, girl, I was just joking. It wasn't until you got called out on your shit that then it was a joke. You see what I'm saying? That's the shit that Drew does. Shamia then says, I just want to know how did I get called? How did I catch a stray? And why did I get called a lap dog? Shamia, Drew calling you a lap dog is what you called yourself. Now I understand that we can say what we want to say about ourselves. That don't mean that you're gonna say it, right? But in this scenario, let me post a picture. I personally went to Shamia's Instagram page, I think like 2 months ago, maybe. And I went through her post and I found this picture. And it might still be on her Instagram page today. So for Shamia to act as if she doesn't know why Drew or anybody else is referring to her as a lapdog when you literally, like a fucking fool, thought that you were being cute when people were calling you a lapdog back in the day, that you took a picture sitting on Portia's lap with your tongue out, imitating a dog. I know she has to regret that, especially now with how the friendship is playing out. So you don't have to. It doesn't make any. Shamia, you know why people call you a lapdog. Again, I get that Shamia called herself that, so I can call myself that, but you can't. But girl, it is what it is. And then Shamia is weird to me Girl, then she started saying, "Arr, arr, arr. Shut your ass up, bitch," something like that. Like, you mad she calling you a lap dog, but then you literally start barking at the table. Oh, oh, oh. Kiss my motherfucking ass, bitch. I said, girl, she's barking. Drew would have signed a record deal, girl. I don't care about Drew. I really don't, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, let me do my job. Drew went to meet up with a lawyer. The lawyer was cute as hell, some black dude. Um, and Drew is basically signing her deal. And Dennis, some of the people were on Zoom. Um, and then it was Drew and I think it was her road manager, someone who she employs basically, was there while she signed the deal. So congratulations to Drew. She also called Dennis to basically get some clarification on what the fuck is going on with Portia going around saying that I was making a pass at you and you showed some text messages about something. Portia is a bona fide fucking liar. I don't believe for 1 second that Portia had. Let me tell you something. If Portia had what those text messages said that she said was in those text messages, they would have been showed those text messages on the screen. But the simple fact that they have not shown those text messages on the screen, it's a goddamn lie. I bet you Portia is taking whatever conversation that was had and text messages with Drew and Dennis or with whoever she said the messages were from or to who, and she's twisting the words. She is. Just like Shamia did to me. Oh, Shamia. When Shamia, Drew basically got into Shamia's ass because she was like, girl, you went back and took some information to her. Basically like I was talking about her daughter. When Drew said I can send I can, this money from the album can help send pay pay for Pilar's college education, something like that. I mean, girl, I don't know. Believe it or not, I don't take everything that everybody says as shade or trying to be slick. And again, y'all know I don't even like see it for Drew like that. I mean, I don't dislike the girl, but I don't even see it for Drew like that. Like, I just didn't see it that way. I really didn't. The way that Shamia delivered the way that Shamia delivered it to Portia was probably shady. You see what I'm saying? But the way that Drew said it, I guess at this point, girl, just leave the kids out of it, girl. Because I know how y'all, not y'all, I don't know how people get when it comes to children, girl. So just leave the kids out of the conversation. Girl, I don't know, but I don't think she was being shady. Um, girl, here we go. Freaking fraud. Mm. Girl, just give me a few seconds to get myself together, girl. The thing that bothers me the most about Phaedra's return to this show is that y'all got rid of Kenya because she showed a picture of Brit gobbling on a little dick. Now, when Candy was down to the radio station the other day doing an interview, she said somebody brought up a website and showed her Brit. So it's like you have someone who, like, I'm not saying this is what Brit did, but you have someone who, like, has an OnlyFans page or a Just for Fans or has an account down to, PRN Hub, all the sites. X2. They took X2. No, is X2 still up? One of them they took away. Anyways, and then you go find the picture, and then you show everybody the picture. It's tacky. It is. She shouldn't have did it. But, and I'm not taking this back at all. No one is going to get me to believe that what Kenya did was worse or even on the same level, even close to what Phaedra did. You literally hear Andy's voice in the montage that they played of Phaedra, calling Phaedra out for being a liar. Matter of fact, I think he said, Phaedra, you got caught in a megawatt lie. That's what he said. So you had Phaedra lie on Candy and Todd about Candy and Todd taking Portia back to a sex dungeon, giving her stuff, and then having their way with her. And then when Phaedra comes back, when I tell you Bravo tried to pull a fast one, then when Phaedra comes back, they play a montage and they have Phaedra kind of narrate the montage. Baby, I caught all that motherfucking tea. I said, bitch, I'm not no dummy, bitch. Hello? I see what the fuck's going on. So they had Phaedra come back. They put together a montage of when she started Atlanta to, what did she say? And then everything was good until I played with fire. That's what she said. Phaedra hasn't addressed what she did. She hasn't acknowledged what she did. She didn't take accountability for what she did. What Phaedra did was say, unfortunately, the last time you saw me wasn't my best moment. I regret how I left the group. That's what Phaedra said. Again, she hasn't taken any type of accountability. She hasn't stood in what she did. Bravo brought her back. They put a montage together. She narrated the montage. And the most she said was, everything was good until I played with fire. I regret I regret the last time, unfortunately, the last time you saw me wasn't my best moment. I regret how I left the group. And this woman lied and said that someone was going to take this other person back to a sex dungeon and do all the stuff of the stuff. I'm trying not to say the words. And because she's been gone for what, 5 or 6 seasons, then that was her paying the price. No, no, no. That's not paying the price. You can't even have an honest conversation about what the fuck you did. And that's the difference between a Kenya and a Phaedra. A Kenya who they don't like, Kenya had to go take courses on Native American history and give a speech at the reunion on why you shouldn't wear a Native American costume. Kenya has to give speech after speech after speech after speech when she does things that people think is wrong. Girl, but Miss Thing could literally accuse somebody of DRUGG and the R word and come back and that's all she got to say. While you hear Andy's voice on the screen saying, Phaedra, you got caught in the megawatt lie, and y'all still let her come back. And y'all still let her come back. I would rather have somebody post a picture of me, if I had an OnlyFans page, let's be very clear. If I had an OnlyFans page or just for fans page, or if I used to be in porn, I would rather have you post a picture of me sucking dick than to lie and say that I was going to take some people back to my room and drug them and R them. Girl, that right there could have changed my entire reality. And as much as y'all get in the streets and holler and scream about people falsely accusing people of the R word, because I guarantee you, if this was a white lady, hello? If Phaedra was a white woman accusing some nigga of this and we found out she was lying, y'all would be ready off with her head. She says, I'm back where I belong. Baby, I'm home. Girl, not Miss Girl, just the other day, Phaedra, was it what, a couple of years ago, Phaedra was literally calling Real Housewives of Atlanta the Titanic. Phaedra was calling the Real Housewives of Atlanta the Titanic. And now she's back home where I belong. Girl, you've always wanted to be on. This is the thing. Most of the girls who do reality TV, I'm going to go ahead and say it, girl, most of them want to be a housewife. I guarantee you, if they had the chance to be, the girls who want to do reality TV, if they had the chance to be on any reality show, I bet you they would choose a housewife show. I bet you they would choose a housewife show. Phaedra always wanted to be back on Atlanta. She just wasn't going to apologize because they say that lawyers are taught not to apologize. That's why she's talking basically, I regret how I left the group, because she's not going to apologize because she's taught that. That's what the people say. Are y'all taught that, lawyers? Get in the comment and let me know. She said, I heard you were looking for me. Here I go. Girl, who said that? Who said that? Who said we was looking for you? No, girl, we looking for Kenya. Who said that? Who said we was looking for you, Phaedra?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I put Phaedra is back being a mean girl. And I'm gonna tell you why I said that. Because I really don't care what Phaedra said, but I'm gonna call Phaedra out on her fuck shit, and also I'm gonna call out some of the fans. Phaedra was on Married to Medicine. The people who go up for Phaedra, they felt like Phaedra at one point was mistreated. Don't get it twisted. There were some things that I did feel like they played in Phaedra's face. Even I can say that. They wanted Phaedra to bow down to them. And Phaedra wasn't bowing down. Was not going to bow down. Especially Simone. Um, but one of the things that people started referring to the girls on Married to Medicine was that they're mean girls. I said, it's so comical how Phaedra could say they're mean girls, and that's why she's leaving the show. But girl, you come back, and in the first 6 minutes of your introduction or reintroduction to the show, girl, you're sitting down talking about all the girls in the group. But you just finished leaving, you just left Married to Medicine calling them mean girls on how they treat the other women. But then here you go coming back again. I don't care what she said. Because actually I was good. I was actually laughing at some of the shit she said. But I'm just calling out Phaedra and some of the fans on how they were so concrete and saying that the girls are mean girls. But Phaedra's first 6 minutes back on the show, she's slut shaming. She's acting as if she didn't know who Angela Oakley is or Charles. And I didn't know any of these people either. Like I just think it's weird. And you're supposed to be the face of girl. I don't, girl. What can I say? I need to find something positive to say. I already did at the beginning of the episode. I said they're gonna be doing some good work. Okay. She says Brit. She says Brit is she's basically so they start going down the girls in the group basically. She says Brit is a girl about the town, a woman about the city and countries. She says she said Brit got more bodies than Willie. Willie Watkins. I'm sorry for y'all who don't know. Willie Watkins is a funeral home. She said that Brit has more bodies than Willie Watkins Funeral Home. I ain't gonna lie, I did kind of giggle. then she talks about her showroom. This showroom who we don't know nothing about, right? Because she hasn't talked about the showroom on the show. That's what I'm saying, girl. She was so they were so busy trying to get the shade in that Phaedra was doing that they didn't even have enough. Like they didn't even really discuss what showroom Phaedra is talking about. Do we know? I don't remember. I don't remember when Phaedra left Atlanta. Did Phaedra have a showroom? I remember on Married to Medicine, she like had some type of clothing situation set up, get up, right? But if the girls don't watch Married to Medicine and now they are just tuning in, back to Atlanta for Phaedra, then how would they know what showroom she's talking about? She keeps saying showroom, but she's not talking about it. She's not, you know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much it. Oh, I put PJ tells her that Drew was apparently sitting on Dennis's hot dog. Just a goddamn lie. Just a goddamn lie. I said, you got the two of them back, girl. That's a dangerous combination. I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. I said that, yes. I said dangerous combination. I know exactly what word I just used. You know how much, let me tell you something. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You got to be a stupid ass. You know how dumb you have to be to, I ended a friendship, and this was somebody who I looked at as a sister. Girl, I'm dead ass. We already talked about this. A lot of y'all already know what I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna go tell a story no more. But I ended a friendship over with a college friend of someone I met in college because she wasn't paying the rent. And I didn't find out until the last minute. I had to pay the money back and all that stuff, right? And I ended the friendship. We ain't been friends ever since. So if you tell me that somebody was going to take me to a dungeon and fill me up with DRGUS and then violate me, and then I find out that you were telling me a lie, girl, it took me like 10 years because I bumped into my college roommate a few times throughout the years, right? And every time I saw her, I wanted to stop the shit out of her ass. Girl. But I knew I was over it when I saw her one time at Nordstrom and she was pregnant. And I was like, oh my God. And I like went and I gave her a hug and we talked. I knew I was over it then. But it took me but we still not friends. But I was over the situation. Like I wasn't like still mad and hurt by it. Now she wanted to get my money today. I'm girl, you can get my $500 something. I'm still gonna take it though. Okay. So if you did something like this to me, I wouldn't have nothing for you. Nothing. Y'all be letting people play in y'all motherfucking faces. I don't know how y'all do it. You're not playing in my face like that. If you're supposed to be my sister too, and I don't went and repeated some stuff that you told me, that's very, very damaging. Girl, we don't have nothing to talk about. It's not no coming back to it. It's not no, oh girl, we're gonna be friends again. Girl, no. Girl, you better hope when I see you, I don't hit you in the head with the bottom of my pump. Just pow with the heel. The sharpest one I got in my closet. Portia is stupid. She is. Girl, you friends with Phaedra after that lady sat on TV and lied. Baby told you a lie. And then we have your boss in the clip they played on this episode literally saying, Phaedra, you got caught in a megawatt lie. Yeah. You want a friend that bad? Let me look over these notes. What time is it? Oh, I gotta hurry up, y'all. Because I gotta go. Shimmy Cocoa Puff. Girl, Shamia, I've been telling y'all about it. Like, it's so crazy because I tried to tell Shamia, this is the thing. I don't have an issue with Shamia, but I wasn't on the Shamia is that the it girl. I'm gonna go ahead and say you can't be an it girl if you're a lapdog for somebody else. Shamia ain't gonna never be that girl because Shamia is too much of a follower and she's too much of a lapdog for other bitches. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't be that bitch, but also a lapdog for somebody. You ain't that girl. You ain't that girl. You know what I'm saying? Kelly, 158,000. Portia. Portia can't afford. Let me tell you something. I'm not trying to be in nobody's pockets, and Portia got way more money than me. But Portia cannot afford a $4.2 million house. Portia just got her job back, the highest job. How? Who do y'all think was paying Portia the most? Who do y'all think was paying Portia the most money? Bravo. Portia already said that when she got married, she kind of let Pamper by Portia kind of fall to the side. So you let Pamper by Portia fall to the side. You quit Dish Nation. You quit Bravo because we don't know what's going on with Go Naked Hair because you wanted to be a kept woman, and Simon was giving you an allowance. And now you done got your first check from Bravo, and now you're looking at a $4.2 million house. Girl, you ain't even got enough pay stubs, girl. If you went to an apartment, girl, you ain't even got your first. Girl, you gotta have at least. Girl, you gotta have at least 3 months of pay stubs, girl. You got at least three pay stubs. You got one pay stub, and you looking for a motherfucker. You looking at a $4.2 million house. You gonna sit your ghetto ass down somewhere. You won't even got. Girl. Anyways, the first divorce was hard because it was old school. I didn't have a plan for my future. This marriage is different. I handled business and aligned everything so I wouldn't be in the same position. Girl, no, you didn't. You did not handle your business. You did not handle your business. Because if you're handling your business, if you would have learned from the first time, Portia would have done what I told the heifer to do. Girl, I told Portia, we came down here. I said, y'all need to go tell Portia because I don't know if Portia know who I am. I don't know if Portia watch my YouTube videos. I don't know. Everybody don't. I don't have a big following, right? I mean, I like my following, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Um, but Portia should have, if Portia learned her lesson from Cordell, then when she got on Married to Medicine, when she was on Atlanta, she would have made sure that when she got with Simon, she just would have came back, got dragged by Kenya and Marlo, girl, sailed off into the sunset with Simon, got her spinoff show, and Portia could have lived happily ever after until they deported his black ass. But at that point, Portia would have had her spinoff show. She could have still had her job, still had her. That's learning your lesson. Like Portia literally went from being on TV talking about how she couldn't even afford to buy shoes. Remember when after Cordell and her, she went shopping at the mall and she was saying how she couldn't afford a certain pair of shoes. So to put yourself back in a situation where you have no income and you're basically depending on a nigga, you didn't learn your lesson. You're still moving like you're stupid. Oh, and then Angela's investment property, she said they had it at $499, and now they basically just put it back at the price that she purchased the home for. So she's not making no money. She's just getting her money back, basically. I said, "Ooh, girl." Brit is. I put Bang Bang as cosplaying a housewife. That lady is not a housewife. When I saw this episode, I said, "Boom, that's what it is." She's a fan, and she's happy she's on the show now. And now she's trying to give what she thinks a housewife should give, and it's just all over the place. Girl, you got these girls out here, girl, sweating under their arms, girl, fanning their pussies, girl, it's hot outside. Girl, I'm over here, girl, I'm over here fanning in between my legs because I'm starting to sweat. I'm starting to get hot. Girl, I'm getting sweat stains, and I got on 5-inch heels, a dress, a hat, makeup. Girl, you got us out here golfing. I put, baby, this is ghetto. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.